Let's cross over to Cairo, where Yasser Hakim is standing by. Yasser, what is the latest on the deaths of Egyptians due to the extreme heat during Hajj, and how are the victims being laid to rest?
Yes, like you said, there's a crisis unit by the government, and this crisis unit has been adopted yesterday, established yesterday, to see how to deal with those who are dead, the highest record number of deaths in a Hajj pilgrimage. What they do is that, first of all, they try to locate who has died, also the missing ones, and then contact the families and try to first understand how this death happened. 99% or even more are due to the extreme heat wave in Saudi Arabia this year, and only one person has died from a mini, if you can call it, stampede, out of injuries from a stampede, and then he died a day later. At the same time, they would also contact the families to see if this person who died will be laid to rest in Saudi Arabia or back home in Egypt. And if the family decided he would be in Egypt, then they would help in the transportation of the body to Egypt. Just to tell you, for many Muslims and Egyptians in particular as well, for a family member to die at the Hajj is considered an honor, and to be laid to rest close to the holiest city, for many, they would prefer that to happen in Saudi Arabia than back home, but it depends on the family's options. At the same time, the government is also, or this crisis unit is also trying to locate those who are not with any permits, those who have entered without any permits, to try to understand how it will be dealing with those people who have entered illegally. Back to you.
So the authorities are saying that many of the victims had no permits, and they could not therefore access the safer areas for the prayer events. So how do people in that, how do these people get to Mecca in the first place, and what is the procedure?
Yes, this is something new this year, and that's why maybe the record number of deaths has happened this time. It was more than half, or more than double, last year. Just to give you a context, out of the hundreds who have died from Egypt, only 28 have died from the people who entered legally with the permits and the proper permits. Only 28 have died. Out of the hundreds and hundreds that we're still trying to locate, over 500 or 600 now, because they are not having any permits. So the government is trying to locate their families. They know if someone is missing. When the family calls in to ask about him, that we have a relative who had gone missing in the Hajj. So they ask him, where is he registered? He's not registered. So they know from the families, the family members of those who have lost their lives. The thing is that the Saudi Arabian government this year has eased visa issuance to people around the world to go to Saudi Arabia for tourism, and to try to promote tourism in Saudi Arabia, not only the religious tourism, but also it's opening up, as part of its opening up strategy, to try to diversify from oil, dependence on oil, to tourism and businesses and so forth. So it has eased restrictions on traveling to Saudi Arabia. So what happened is that many, or hundreds and thousands, would take a tourist visa way ahead of the Hajj and stay inside. They break the expiry date, they stay in the country, and then they infiltrate into Mecca and so forth with a tourist visa. Obviously, they're not allowed to do so, and they go inside the country just from one city to another, and they go for the Hajj. And therefore, it's all considered illegal because they have a tourist visa, not a Hajj visa. And thousands have done this year. Egypt, being the most populated country in the Arab world, is also therefore has the highest rate of people who have broken their visa, their tourist visa, and made it into the Hajj with a tourist visa which is expired.
Right.
And therefore, this has increased the number of deaths because they do not have the proper facilities to sustain the heat during the Hajj.